Welcome to Humanology on Air. In today's episode, we're talking about creativity, what it's supposed to do, the courage to do it well, and why budgets aren't as important as ideas. Let's get started.
We truly believe this is the most exciting time for creativity and marketing, and the most important. We can make almost any idea happen now, faster, cheaper, with fewer limits than ever, but that's exactly why it matters more, not less. Because everything we can make, our competitors can make too, just as fast. It's not about being in the right places or having the biggest budget, it's about making work that connects and building trust through brand. And that only happens when insight, strategy, and performance come to life through creativity. And the real reason for this shift has a name, and that name is AI. Think about your feed right now. Some of it's genuinely great, some of it is AI slop, most of it's perfectly fine, but it all blurs together. Getting noticed used to be the hard part. Now that's easy. The new bar is being believed, being trusted, especially for B2B brands. According to the LinkedIn B2B Institute, 95% of any B2B audience isn't ready to buy today. They will be eventually, but the gap between not now and ready is long. It's months, it could even be years. The brands that win are the ones building memory long before the need appeared. And while most ads today are built for activation, we need to do more. Build rich brands through full funnel creative that makes you matter long before your audience is ready to buy.
If we stripped the logo off your next ad, would anyone still know it was you? The truth is, almost every brand has a competitor, offering something similar, similar product, similar price, similar promise, similar language. When the product looks the same and the category sounds the same, the brand that sounds most like itself is the one that people remember. In the case of Heinz, when people were asked to draw ketchup, they drew Heinz. When AI was asked to imagine ketchup, it still came back looking like Heinz. Heinz recognized that their branding and bottle is one of their most powerful assets. Then they promoted that in clever ways to own the message that ketchup is Heinz. Now, we can't all be Heinz. We're not all household names with years of product and brand equity, but we still have brand DNA that's true to us and resonates with our audiences. That's the work. Not just making something look nice or sound clever, making something unmistakably your brand. Next time, if you want to stand out from your competitors, don't just list your product benefits. If you truly want to be memorable to your customers, own what makes you you. Sameness is the real risk to your bottom line.
Most brands spend their marketing talking about themselves. They talk about the product, the features, how long they've been in business, and none of that is wrong. It's not what makes people stop. Your audience doesn't see themselves in your product, they see themselves in their own life. The job of great creative is to show them how your brand fits into that life and makes it better. As we like to say, talk about them, not add them. So let's think about Spotify. In their best ads, Spotify is never the hero. The person who fell in love, went through the breakup, ran their first marathon, that's the hero. Spotify is just the witness. That's where you want your brand to live. Not center stage, but right beside the person who is. People don't buy products because they admire companies, they buy them because they imagine a better version of themselves. So show them that version and make it clear that your brand is how they get there.
Another way for brands to build trust, especially for B2B, is through humor. And you might be thinking that's not for me, but hear me out. No matter what industry you're in, at the end of the day, you're still trying to reach people. And people are still people. They're bored, they're busy, they're far more likely to remember the brand that made them laugh. Think about Progressive Insurance. They operate in the most straightforward category on earth, and yet Progressive has spent years getting people to have genuine reactions. Not necessarily belly laughs, but smirks built on real human truths about the exact people they're selling to. And here's the thing. They don't just get laughs, they build trust. Think about your brand for a second. If you've ever defined your personality traits to be honest, humble, or confident, being funny can do more than just get a smile. Humor is also one of the most economical ways to stand out in the sea of same. Humor lowers the guard before you make your point. It makes the message stick and gets shared on social when serious never would. Just think about your own behavior. You're far more likely to share something that made you laugh or made you feel something than work that was simply informative.
The brands people remember are usually the ones that don't stop at an ad. or when it feels too risky. They build a whole world around the idea and they commit, and then they commit harder. Coors Light ran a home to Coors campaign. They didn't just say Coors is great for game day. They took a real hosting problem, not enough seats, not enough surfaces, and turned cases of beer into home decor. Then they made an online store out of those products, which were just cases of beer, and they even set up a display at the Home and Garden Show. They protected the idea, they committed to the bit, they went further than felt not only reasonable, but what is normal in the market. That's what made it stand out. That's something we can all do. It doesn't need a huge budget. It's having the balls to trust the creative and following it through. So the question is, are we making the idea safer or are we making it stronger? Because if it feels too far, you're probably close.
Some of your favorite campaigns had big budgets, some didn't. What they all had in common wasn't money. It was a clear insight and a decision to protect the idea. So, what does it take to create great creative? A brief that makes one promise, work that tries to speak to everyone ends up resonating with no one. A feeling before a feature. People remember how something made them feel long before they remember what it did. The courage to alienate someone. The sharpest creative isn't for everyone, and that's what makes it work. Pick a target and aim. A champion in every room. It's hard for great work to survive without one. And great work needs time. Often internal teams get tired of an idea before the audience has even noticed it. Letting go of the budget myth, bigger ideas don't always cost more, they just take more courage. And in the end, the brands that break through found a real insight and refused to let go of it.
And there you have it. That's our top recommendations for how your brand can stand out creatively in a world of AI. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.